Welcome to this edition of Entrepreneur Showcase. I'm Edward St. Pé. Welcome to Ocean 7. We've got an interesting show for you today. We're going to meet a young director who is directing a project for the Friends here in Ocean Springs. Let's meet Mr. Aaron Lynn.
Hey, everybody.
And good to see you.
How's it going?
Everything's good.
Good.
So,
good.
okay, now, the Friends, formerly known as the Friends of the Mary Sea.
Correct.
The Friends are putting on or are involved with this production. Tell us about the production and what is the production all about?
Okay, the show is called Snowglobe Studios, and it is a musical comedy, an original musical comedy, about the audience being invited to come watch this show streamed live with the stars of the musical, the Snowbells. Basically, a blizzard hits and cuts the lights, the tapes get deleted, so they have to scramble to put the show on live with this audience there, and it was not expected, so madness ensues, musical comedy happens, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, and you're gonna get home before 9:30.
So tell us, when will this be played?
When's it happening? We open on December 5th at the Great Southern Club in Gulfport. We also have shows on December 11th and 12th at the Oakcrest Mansion in Pass Christian. And then with the help of the Friends, we will be having a show on December 19th at the Gulf Hills Hotel over here.
So Gulf Hills right here?
Right up the street.
Right up the street, that's great.
Yeah.
So that you have a stage there, they're gonna put a stage up?
It's more like theater in the round, and it's dinner theater. So there's a 3-course meal involved at every venue, and people will be set up socially distanced, and we kind of do the show around them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I want to ask, I already know the answer, but I want to ask on the air. This was a new Christmas production, and the writer of this production is who?
It's me.
It's you.
Yeah, I wore a lot of hats in this. I wrote it, produced it, directed it. I'm in it as well.
So that means you produced it too, right?
Yeah, I
guess,
did.
right?
Yeah,
You produced it.
I put a lot of people together. I had a lot of help from people though, especially the Friends and Alexis Theater Productions in Gulfport. They really helped me get the venues and the food, and I took care of the script and the cast, and I choreographed it, and I just did everything. I didn't want to pay anybody else, you know.
So what drives a person to do these things? Because I can relate to what you're talking about here, and you've got this bug in you too that drives you to do these things. What is it that causes a person to put through all this energy to create something?
The need to do it, the hunger to do it. This year was hard for all of us, so I was like, I have to do something. It was nagging at me, and I needed to find a solution for that nagging bug, and I was like, I have to bring theater back to the coast, and I have to bring good quality theater back to the coast that's going to be worth your money to leave your home to see.
Something uplifting.
Absolutely.
And fun.
Absolutely.
So, okay, now, you wrote it, and you're in it, and you had to learn how to do this. How did you mature as a writer, director, producer to put on a show like this?
I think it's just experience. I did a lot of theme park shows a couple years ago. I did some off-Broadway. I've worked in TV and film, and I've worked in a lot of musical theater stuff my whole life, so I think it was just reading scripts over and over and just understanding what stories worked and what stories didn't, and especially this year, what would make me laugh, what would make people that don't go to the theater a lot laugh, and what would just make us, what would just be a good feel-good story. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like the experience from the stuff that I've done helped me just kind of get used to that formula, kind of like we were talking about.
Well, before we went on the air, you and I were talking, and you told me you had gone to New York, and which I can relate because I went to New York too as a young person, and it changed my life.
Right.
And I think New York probably changed your life too, right?
Yeah, just riding the subway every day to work will change your life.
That'll do. But what did you experience that was life-changing as far as your integration into the arts and your understanding of what art was and such?
I think it was being up there. Everybody rooted for everybody because they knew how hard it was to just wake up at 5 a.m. and go to an audition with 300 other people, like in the middle of January. So just that in itself, the support system was amazing, and realizing that we don't have a choice as artists. We're kind of just born this way, and you have to put it out there because that's kind of what our duty is on Earth, is to put it out there and entertain people and, make this whole life experience a little bit easier for everybody. That is really what I learned, that it's almost medicinal. It can help people. So let's do it, you know?
Right. And you would say it was life-changing, right?
Absolutely.
When I went, I went also thinking about art and stuff, but ended up getting a job at NBC.
Yeah.
And I've been in television my whole life ever since then.
Yeah.
On the local level, left New York, came back to home, which is Louisiana, Mississippi, and been in local television and media. But it was life-changing, and it broadens your perspective, right?
Absolutely.
I would say that's a good way to look at it. It broadens your perspective to be in a different environment with very talented people.
Definitely. Definitely. And just the struggle is life-changing in itself. And I really think that when you commit to moving away and like doing this thing, you realize that you can't really live without it. Like I can't live without theater or live art or performance art anymore. So you really commit to making that part of your life and like, how can I further this experience for the Gulf Coast and bring theater here and keep myself having an artistic outlet. So, once you make those moves, you commit to it for the rest of your life. You know that you can do it.
And it's like Joseph Campbell's The Heroic Circle, which we were talking about off the air before. You're in the ordinary world. Let's say the ordinary world. At the top, starting at 12. And then at 5 minutes after, you might have some illumination. You've seen something, you've thought of something, you've realized something, a different perspective, and you set out on the quest.
Yeah.
And the quest takes you through all of the tribulations and all the learning experiences, and God, maybe the end of the road is here, but you break through somehow.
Yeah.
And you end up back where you started, but as a more illuminated person,
Right.
So when you told me that you had, I liken it to a sojourn,
Yeah.
leaving home, going to a different place like New York. I did it, you did it, but we're better from having done it, right?
Definitely, absolutely. And I feel like that when I was like 18, before I moved away, I had a lot of ego. And after doing everything that I've done, I feel like there's so much not ego and more heart that you put into it, just because you see all these other people putting their hearts and souls into it and how it affects the audience. And like this show is really for the hardworking people that work 40 hours a week and have to go put food on the kids' table. Like that's the people I want to entertain. That is the people that I want to make feel good in this world, because like I don't know, like those are the people that keep this world going.
So before we get off, now that'll bring us back to this. Tell us a little bit more about the show that you wrote.
Yeah.
What is the name of it?
It's called Snowglobe Studios.
And so it's an original, it's a contemporary piece, Christmas piece, right?
Yes, it's a contemporary piece. And basically it's just like a what could go wrong type of show where the audience is winners in this competition and they get to watch the show streamed live with the stars of the show. This blizzard cuts the tapes and cuts the lights, and madness ensues, and they have to figure out how to do this show live with everybody watching, and they have this time slot they have to fill. So they're kind of just like figuring it out as they go. One of the Snowbells, who's the performer in the show, is like sick in the bathroom, so the producer has to go on for her. I play the stage manager, so of course I have like the last song. So I have to go on for one of them too, and then it's really, really funny. And I've had some test audiences too to say it was funny too. It's not just me.
So how many songs are in the show?
There's 2 group numbers and there's 3 solos.
So you wrote the music?
I did not. It is classic Christmas music.
I see. Good.
Yeah.
Well, that works great, because that always works well.
But it's not the Christmas music you hear every year. So it's not going to be the Christmas music. You're not going to hear like Jingle Bells or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You're going to hear some good, we have like Merry Christmas Darling by the Carpenters in it. So like some cool stuff like that.
Yeah. You mentioned that. I remember, I was thinking about it the other day. I was when I was in Jackson before I moved down here from Jackson. I'm from the New Orleans area originally, but I was in Jackson for many years, 20 years, doing TV weather. And one year they corralled me into doing A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
And I forgot, I played the nephew of Scrooge.
Okay.
So I had to sing in part of the play. It was at what was it called? Not the Little Theater, because that's in New Orleans. It was called. It was the professional theater there.
In New Orleans?
In Jackson.
Oh yeah.
There's a professional theater there.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but anyway.
Wait, did you play the nephew and then who turned into young Ebenezer?
I played the nephew.
Okay. I feel like I did that show too.
Because this was the old Scrooge. I mean, this was the old version of the Scrooge.
Yeah.
theatrical production.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I had to sing Good King Wenceslas.
That's in our show.
Is it really?
The instrumental version.
It's a great
like
song.
a disco instrumental version
really?
that the
Holy
Snowbells
smokes.
are dancing to. And you're also trying to watch the producer replace the Snowbell, and she's kind of struggling the whole time to remember the choreography. And it's funny, she's like Carol Burnett. Her name's Laura Magazoo, and she's fabulous. It's really funny.
That is interesting. So it's a different take on the song.
Absolutely.
But that's a great song, though. I mean, it's a very, it's kind of it's a very special Christmas song.
Yeah.
You know, I was glad to sing because I always liked it growing up. You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. And I was thinking about it the other day. It was one of the most, because we did this show naturally right before Christmas, and it was the most fun thing, one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Because we had to rehearse a lot, and it was like weeks and weeks of preparation, and then we did the show. Oh, it was just great.
Yeah,
you know?
and you become a little family, and then
Become a little family.
you do your thing, and everybody loves it. It's fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, you know. So what are your plans as you look ahead? What are you going to want to do next?
After this, I want to make custom shows for people's venues. So I want to do business with local businesses and do shows at their venues or at their conferences. And I kind of want to be like, what songs do you want? What kind of story do you want? Let's write it, put a show together, and you can entertain your employees. And I also want to continue doing this every couple months and just have little tours across the Gulf Coast for the public to come see these new original shows, because I have a great cast, a great company of professional performers. And you're going to get good quality entertainment from this, and I'm really glad that we can bring it back to the coast. And social distancing guidelines are in effect.
Yeah. You know, being that you're here and we've met, anything that we can do with the television station in the studio, to help with the promotion or whatever, whatever you think of. Maybe we could create a television show. Who knows?
Let's do it. Why not? I live right up the street.
I mean, you can become a television director.
I'm into that. I want to be in it too.
It's the next step, right? That's right. So, but anyway, yeah, we have to consider those possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I didn't learn. I feel like this year I learned like anything can happen if you just put yourself out there. Because I was nervous about writing stuff and doing stuff. I was like, I don't know what is it? Yeah.
I was just listening this morning to an audio thing that I got, and the one thing that is necessary to go forward is courage.
Absolutely.
Because if you get up to it and you say, you got two choices: either I will do it and I will succeed, or I will do it and I will fail. But if you don't do it, you failed already anyway.
Exactly.
So why not do it?
I kind of just went in being like, if I fail, it's cool. Whatever.
Cool.
People forget about it.
You learn from
Yeah.
experience, and next time you succeed because you've learned what not to do, maybe,
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, courage. So have some courage and do a television project. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. Maybe if you need a little liquid courage, that could help
Yeah.
too.
Well, yeah. Whatever it takes to get the show. The show must go on.
Absolutely.
So okay. So now, before we depart, let us now reiterate because it's more than one production you're doing, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
Where are they?
I will tell the people. So we have Snowglobe Studios, opening night December 5th at the Great Southern Club in Gulfport, Mississippi, December 11th and 12th at the Oakcrest Mansion in Pass Christian, and also December 19th at the Gulf Hills Hotel, and that is in association with The Friends, and I appreciate their help very much. The Gulfport and Pass Christian locations are in association with Alexis Theater Productions, so I had a lot of help from the community, and I'm very grateful for it. So come see the show. It is so fun. It is awesome, and you will feel very safe there as well.
Okay, good. Well, good luck with the program.
Thank you.
And
it's been a pleasure.
We'll stay in touch. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a television project.
Yeah, who knows?
Because you don't run into very many directors around
I know.
on a daily basis.
Right.
When you do meet one, you have to try to get in good with them.
Yeah, let's get
Do
this
some projects.
connections. Let's go get a drink.
Yeah. Okay, good. Nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for being with us on this edition of Entrepreneur Showcase. We'll be back after this. Let's meet Dr. Lauren Timmons. Dr. Lauren Timmons, practicing dentistry here in Ocean Springs. Welcome to
Thank you.
the show. Now, let's talk about the machine that allows you to do an implant and a new tooth in one visit.
Okay, there's two parts. There's a 3D X-ray machine, which is relatively new to dentistry. We take a 3D X-ray and we're able to design the implants in a three-dimensional X-ray. And then there is a CEREC machine, which we're able to mill out and design crowns to go on top of those implants.
And so literally a person can break the tooth off, come in, have the tooth extracted, have a new implant put in and the tooth screwed in, and walk out with a new tooth in the same day.
Correct, with the crown on the implant in one visit.
That would have been considered probably a miracle 10 years ago. Right?
Impossible.
Impossible.
Right.
Well, thank you for being here in Ocean Springs with us, and I hope everyone will come to see Dr. Lauren Timmons in Ocean Springs.
Thank you, Ed.
Paran's Jambalaya Kitchen. Homemade Cajun dishes for takeout, curbside pickup, or home delivery. Call 228-207-2821. We serve offices, we cater, and we serve hungry families. From jambalaya and pastelaya to cracklins and boudin. Especially appealing, our wonderful and legendary pecan pie. That's Paran's. Call 228-207-2821.
Let's put our heads together on a great staycation. Berry Creek Cabins in nearby Bogalusa, Louisiana is your wilderness staycation headquarters. Cozy cabin lodging for 4 to 12 people with modern amenities, kitchens, relaxing porches, fishing, and a 2,700 square foot party deck pavilion. Call 985-730-4395 or berrycreekcabins.com. Berry Creek Cabins is family staycation headquarters.
Edward St. Pé with Nathan Prescott
Hi.
from Law Focus. Hello, Nathan.
Hey.
Law Focus, we have it every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and then again a repeat performance at 6 p.m.
Sure.
So tell us, what is Law Focus all about?
Well, Law Focus is sort of self-explanatory, and it is a show focused on the law, but an ancillary sort of arm to that is that Law Focus involves the law in you. It involves how the law affects your day-to-day life. Through the shows, we've addressed the Landlord-Tenant Act, we've addressed trademarks, copyrights, constitutionality of issues, criminal issues, and even current events that exist in the law with different types of things that come up. So anything that involves the law and affects you is fair game for Law Focus, and we're proud of that. We try to put out new product a good bit.
Well, it's a situation that affects everyone. The law affects everybody, and we're happy to have this program. Thank you for being with us every week on Law Focus. That's Law Focus every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and again at 6 p.m. on Ocean 7.
Thank you.
Well, we are now going to speak to Dr. Lauren Timmons. Dr. Timmons, good to see you.
Good to see you.
You are a dental practitioner here in Ocean Springs. We've talked before, we're friends. We've talked about some of the amazing technology, the new technology that's out there that make possible what would have been considered a miracle 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Now, a person can literally have an accident, break the tooth off, come in, have a new tooth put in, the tooth pulled out, the new tooth put in as an implant, and walk out with a new tooth the same day.
That's correct. You took the words out of my mouth, and how can I elaborate on that?
But it's amazing, though,
Yeah.
that you can do that in one day. What allows you to make these this quantum leap in technology?
Well, dental technology has increased exponentially over the last 20 years, as with a lot of industries. But 3D X-ray technology is at the heart of that. Biggest game changer to dentistry in probably 25, 30 years. And it allows us to see how much bone is in the jaw and where the sinus or the nerve is to accurately and safely place dental implants in the best part of the jaw, the safest, most accurate way possible.
Now, you had mentioned that to me before about the being able to see where you're putting the implant. And I've had an implant back before they had, and they didn't have the 3D technology. And so they put the implant in, but you told me if they put the implant in without the 3D, they really don't know exactly where it's going, and it could hit a nerve, which kind of startled me, considering I've already had them done without it. Tell us about that.
Well, you're a little bit in the dark if you're still doing it with a 2D X-ray and you're eyeballing where the implant should go three-dimensionally and how deep it should go. If you can see in that third dimension, like a backup camera on your car, why not have it? And this really simplifies the process, makes it much more simple to accurately and safely place the dental implants in bone.
What would you not want to, if you can't see it with 3D and you're looking at a 2D X-ray, what do you not want to accidentally screw the tooth into? There's an issue there somewhere, right?
You don't want to place the implant too deep or next to a vital structure like a nerve running through your jaw or your sinus cavity or something like that.
Which could happen.
Correct. So this allows us to see where those anatomical structures are three-dimensionally, where we can find better places to put the implant in bone, where it's a stronger, more stable implant, and we can do better crowns and restorations on those implants after they're placed.
You know, we've had a number of people contact us, you know, because we run some interviews with you from time to time like we're doing right now, and people have commented to me, you know, I went to Dr. Timmons and he did this and he did that, he helped me so much and everything. So you've got a great group of people, happy customers out there, you know.
Yeah, we have a high dental IQ in Ocean Springs. We're fortunate to live and to practice here. I want to mention this is not very common to have a cone beam CT machine in a dental office. They're very much ahead of the curve technologically. Not a lot of dental offices have that, but we're fortunate enough here we offer that technology where we can do same-day dental implants. For instance, someone comes in with a broken off tooth on the front tooth, let's just say. We're able to take a 3D X-ray, design the surgical guide, and take that tooth out, put the implant in, and put a crown on all in the same day.
And you make the new tooth right there, too.
Right there, within 2 hours, they're walking out with a tooth that they may have just previously knocked out.
You see, my experience, and I guess a lot of folks out there have experienced this, you know, you go in, you have a crown or whatever, you go in, they do all the measurements, then they have to put something temporary in while they send off the measurements and they make it and then send it back 2 weeks later, right?
Right, and that's called, a lot of times that's called a flipper. And so the dentist will make a prosthetic device with just one tooth on it that covers most of the palate, and you have to wear that around for 6 months.
But the dentist was not making the tooth on site, but you do that.
Right, we do that. With this technology, you don't have to wear a flipper most of the time. We can make you a temporary tooth to go on that implant. You come back a few months later, we make the permanent crown and just unscrew the temporary, screw on the permanent. You walk out in an hour and you're done. With the other technology we have, which is called CEREC technology, we can make crowns and veneers, chair side, one visit, no temporary crowns, no gooey impressions. You walk out with, you know, a full set of crowns or veneers.
When you talk about implants, you know, you think about maybe one tooth or whatever, but if somebody, let's say somebody needs to have all their teeth taken out, and you know, they would be a candidate for dentures in the old days.
Right.
But the implant technology allows you to create almost a denture type thing, but implanted so it's permanent across the whole mouth, both up and top and bottom, right?
That's correct, and we provide that service as well. And the vast majority of those cases are implant over dentures, and the implants are placed and the dentures are made, and they're cut back a little bit more streamlined or ergonomically designed to where they can snap on over the implants and stay in rock solid. But they can remove the dentures still, you know, snap them in and out to clean them, and it's very much like having their teeth again.
Wow, that's amazing. So I guess in some cases, when a person needs something like that, basically it's because maybe they got some missing teeth, and then the teeth that are remaining maybe have problems, and so it's just better to just start fresh with a whole new mouth, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, most of the time it's due to periodontal disease or gum disease, which our profession really preaches prevention and coming in for your hygiene visits and getting dental cleanings to help prevent us from getting to that stage. Well,
you know, one thing that I use that has helped because I wasn't the greatest flosser, you know, through the years. I don't know, I never thought about it so much, but anyway, you know, I might brush my teeth a few times a day, but I wasn't but I got the, first I got the water pick, the normal water pick, which got a little reservoir and it's got a little.
Those are great.
I did that. Well, after going through one or two of those, I realized that this thing's not strong enough for me. So I went to Amazon and I found the same brand of water pick, but it's the industrial version. It's got a big cup reservoir and it's about that big, you know, and you can adjust the power from 1 to 10. So I put it on 10 and let it blow. And you know what? That was the greatest thing, because I think my gums are healthy as a result.
Well, we
Naturally, you know.
we really recommend water picks all the time, but make no mistake, there's no substitute for brushing and especially flossing, and there's also no substitute for coming into the dentist every 6 months for a checkup and a cleaning to get where your toothbrush and floss cannot get, and we see it all the time.
But if you're if you're doing water pick, do you really still need to floss or no?
Absolutely.
Oh, you do?
Absolutely. The mechanical action of the floss going around your teeth and removing the plaque physically before it accumulates and turns into calculus is key. The stimulation of blood flow to the area, bringing white blood cells and immune mediator cells to combat bacteria and plaque is key as well.
I learned something, and maybe you can illuminate us on this. Plaque buildup is also not just an issue with your gums, but it could have other health effects, right?
Correct, and they now call that biofilm, plaque, whatever you want to call it. And they did a Jackson Heart study at the University of Mississippi 30-something years ago, and it's a famous study, and they've linked plaque and calculus on your teeth to atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries, and it's heart disease. So it's to be taken very seriously. Death enters through the gums, and we've heard that saying before, but that's where that comes.
What was it?
Death enters through the gums. That's sort of what they meant when you don't take care of your gums and your teeth, and your health can follow.
Right. Well, okay. Thank you for being with us today, and
thank you.
Congratulations. Continued success.
Thank you, Ed.
Let's put our heads together on a great staycation. Berry Creek Cabins in nearby Bogalusa, Louisiana is your wilderness staycation headquarters. Cozy cabin lodging for 4 to 12 people with modern amenities, kitchens, relaxing porches, fishing, and a 2,700 square foot party deck pavilion. Call 985-730-4395 or berrycreekcabins.com. Berry Creek Cabins is family staycation headquarters.
Well, Dr. Lauren Timmons, who practices dentistry here in Ocean Springs, cosmetic dentistry, family dentistry, is here with us. Welcome to the program, Doc.
Thank you, Ed.
You know, it's almost a miracle what can be done today. For example, person has an accident, let's say the tooth is broken, they can go in, you can pull the tooth, put the implant in, build a tooth right there, put it in, and they walk out with a whole new tooth implanted in.
That is correct.
One day, one visit.
That is correct. No gooey impressions, no second appointment. All thanks to 3D X-ray technology, which we have in our office, which is a big deal, game changer in dentistry today.
And that's a very, very new technology, right?
It is, and we're proud to offer that here. And then we design and mill out the crowns, fire them in an oven, and seat them all in one day.
10 years ago, that would be considered impossible, right?
Correct, yeah, and we have that technology today.
Thanks for being here with us in Ocean Springs.
Thank you.
And so these days, we've got not only men in the gym training as boxers and such, but of course, ladies are, also hard at the training regime too, right?
Yes. Boxing, because of its conditioning, it attracts a lot. Everybody loves a fighter. and everybody wants that lean look like a fighter, but may not want to get the contact of a fighter. So that now they have the boxer size. You have MMA in town. They do a lot of their MMA cater to women. And boxing, you can do the same thing. You can use those principles of conditioning and translate that into a fitness program.